Hey, Vinny Milkus Outdoors. It's been a little while, but we're back. Um, we're getting tied into our boat. We finally got some information um, on some things. So we're gonna, instead of getting a new boat, we're going to, I think, tear into this one. Right? And even if we get a new boat, we're gonna tear into this one. We're gonna rebuild it. Got some pivotal information, which we'll get into later. But I want to talk about Scott Martin getting DQed. And he's one of the famous anglers I haven't met or haven't had any real interactions with. But from what I can tell, he's a man of integrity. But the interesting thing I wanted to go about this was the rules aspect, the no information dog talk rule, which is funny because I've had similar stuff in the past, rules wise. And I've heard from anglers that are on the Elite Series, that were on the Elite Series, about things that people just let slide and don't self-report, and they do get information. They get information that it's hard to trace back to hold them accountable, really. And these are some guys you view as, front row churchgoers or whatnot that are getting this information. But this has been pretty well known throughout the years. And it's pretty much, this is a self-integrity type rule. And kudos to Scott Martin for putting himself out there on this. Now, the interesting is that Bass, the way they did complete DQ on him, to me, when you have somebody that's willing to display that sense of integrity, if it goes to like a board or something, like this is just me thinking, I was like, okay, well, maybe tell me what information you got. Okay, you can't go over there, or maybe you get penalized for a day or something. But however, I understand that there's the letter of the law and the intent of the law. That's where I'm going with that, especially somebody that self-reports this, and it wasn't even that big a deal if you listen to his story. It was just so happening, and he's any of these anglers are pretty famous, so you got guys coming up to him. Shoot, I have guys coming up to me when I'm fishing in other tournaments, or I was fishing in tournaments, which we will get back to, and they just come up and start just spatting off. And yeah, you can stop them you got to interrupt them and like, hey, I can't get this information. And sometimes they keep talking, or they'll go tangentially into it. So this is like a tricky rule, and it's really hard to enforce, especially, let's say, you're just sitting there at the dock and you've been on the water all day and you're just like, you're brain dead. You're retying, or you're sitting at the launch. That's kind of what I do, is like you end up, pulling the boat up, and maybe you pull up and you're putting your rods away, and you're just been baked in the sun for whatever, 12 hours, and someone starts talking. I don't even know what's going on, to be totally honest, till I get some electrolytes in me. And then he spouts off something about whatever fish are doing this, or the weather's doing this. So I understand this, and it's like such a hard rule to really follow. So it's sad to see that, because it kind of ruins a guy's season there. I don't know if they can drop. I haven't really been paying attention all that much. I don't know if you can drop one of the points, or they're all cumulative. I'm assuming they're all cumulative. So if you get DQ'd in one, that kind of sets you back. And I hope he still qualifies for the Classic. But it's interesting that they went about a complete DQ for somebody that's self-reported and has that kind of integrity. And I'm glad he's willing to accept the punishment. More in a better way than most people would. So kudos on him, and I do agree with him. It's pivotal for the integrity of the sport itself. It's paramount to show that kind of principled stance. But I wish Bass would have convened something, maybe, or maybe there'd be gradations. If it's a self-reported event, if it's then maybe there should be a lighter sentence, maybe a 1-day DQ, maybe limitations on where you go on the lake. I don't know. I mean, I'm not here to provide answers. I'm just here to talk about how hard it is to really enforce this rule equitably, and how pivotal it is for people to self-report some of this stuff. It's paramount for the integrity of sport, especially in a day and age where cheating has been blasted all over the media. Maybe it's not as prevalent. It's probably more prevalent back in the day, but now we just see it, and it's becoming more evident. We're looking out for it a little bit more. I mean, there's a bunch of famous cases, but anyway, I just wanted to say, put my 2 cents on there, that I respect Scott Martin for what he's done, and hopefully this doesn't hamper his season. The worst part of it for him, and I feel him there, as you wait for the lake that's your home lake that you feel comfortable with, that you just love passionately, and then a little slip of the tongue here kind of ruins that, you know. So I feel for him, but anyway, I will talk to you later, and stay tuned because we are doing the boat thing. Where I'm at, the weather's starting to turn. We just went out trout fishing the other day and didn't get anything. The water is kind of low, but it's getting pounded. There's a lot of people, but the weather's turning in the warm water sense, where we're starting to, hopefully here in about a month, we'll be ice off. We'll be hitting some smallmouth like you won't believe. Because we're in that country now. We're in that country where there's just big smallies running around and not a lot of people. And the lake that I particularly live near, right when that ice is off and the smallies are staging, they start chewing, and it's fun. So we'll get on that here soon. So we'll talk to you later. Peace.